Today we're trying to figure out who has the best classic rock guitar tone. Hey guys, Kris here.
And my name is Guillaume. Hope you're all doing great today. We are? Not yet. I'll only be great when I know that I have the greatest classic rock guitar sound.
You wished you had.
That's the objective for today. Our last Q&A,
Marcus M.
Marcus M. Hi Marcus. Left a comment asking us to try and go more in depth on the certain periods of music or styles of guitar playing and give you some tone tips as to how to get like in the ballpark of those super legendary guitar sounds. So today
we're doing classic rock, which is
it's a broad statement. Let's call it everything from 59 to mid 70s, late 70s, I guess.
Yeah.
Because then it's a whole different thing. And again, classic rock is already a super broad umbrella. So but let's call it that.
Yeah.
So what we did is pick a rig each. We don't know what the other guy has, except for some obvious statements. So let's unveil the rigs first.
Do you want to start with you or?
Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
With the
Captain Obvious sticks to his
with the guitar.
Boring guitar.
Yeah. There's really, legitimately, I think there are three choices if you want to do anything from the 60s. It's either going to be a Strat, a Tele, or a Les Paul.
Or a Rickenbacker. Or a Höfner. Or Gretsch. Or...
Let's be honest, has to be a Strat.
No.
So this is the guitar that I chose for today. And it's going into that very tiny board because guitar pedals weren't that big of a thing.
Well, you don't know how much I'm using of that.
Era accurate, I guess.
Okay.
Do I unveil now? Can I get a drum roll? Can I get something?
You that's a tasty board. Yeah.
That's fair. Okay, so
let me guess. The Flint is there to have reverb because reverb is live.
Yeah.
So it's not really a pedal, it's just a pedal to emulate something that's not supposed to be a pedal originally.
If we're going in reverse, that's only because 60s, 70s, for me, the miking was so much different that there was always reverb. It was not as much close miking.
You heard more of the room.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So that's what the Flint is here for.
And the Echoplex, obviously.
The one effect that, I mean, except for, of course, then mid-60s, Fuzz, everything.
Yeah.
I did consider the Fuzz.
I'm surprised that there's no Fuzz there.
Yeah, I thought it's so much dependent on the amp. I wasn't really set on the amp. The Fuzz in itself has changed quite a bit too.
Yeah.
So it's hard to find like a unit that really goes in that late 60s sort of ballpark.
Yeah.
So I chose to sort of stay away from that, maybe go into like more classic gain structures. And so I just went for the Archer, which is going to act as sort of a treble booster. Because that's what most of these guys were doing, using massive stacks of amps and then using, for the most part, range masters and stuff like that in the front to make it a little bit more bearable.
Saturated, and tight, of course.
So that's what the Archer is going to be used for. And all of that is going into...
In which one?
Into and in the back of the Mini Plexi. My favorite name for an amp in the history of amps, Mini Plexi. This is basically the downscaled version of the 59 Super Lead Marshall,
which is exactly the amp I wanted to use, and it wasn't available anymore because
but I was here
someone
first.
took it. Yeah.
I was here first this morning. The early bird gets the amp, as they say.
Gets the Plexi.
Exactly. So I'm going to be using that into the Harley Benton cab with V30 speakers,
which is also very periodic correct.
It was either that or the creamback.
Well,
I know, mostly through Hit the Tone, that there was a lot of records made like through creambacks and greenbacks and all of that. You do lose a little bit too much of high end with that particular setup. Also, because it's not like a full blown super lead, and it's not on 12 either. Because I think at halfway across on the master, I'm about 110 or 112 dBs already.
Yeah.
So
It's loud.
like it's a question of safety at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's my rig. I think I can get most of the.
Hit me with your favorite tone. Okay, well,
Classic rock. That's the classicest of all the rocks. I know.
that's nasty.
Yeah.
Actually, I love it. It's piercy. It's
Yeah,
gnarly.
it's right up there, but
it's
like-
all of that. But I mean, that's the kind of tone you would expect if you hear that lick
For
or
sure,
anything
for sure.
related
Strat,
to like
bridge
old
pickup
Strat
and, yeah.
tones. Yeah.
And that's just one of many. Have many more tones to come.
Really?
Yeah. Different song. Different song.
Oh, could be the same one though. It fits.
Yeah, for sure.
And isn't he? Yeah, I mean, first of all, I absolutely adore that tone. But, second of all, I know many people who would rip your head off if you told Jimi is classic rock. Because he's like the god of blues, soul, R&B/rock. I don't know.
You're thinking too much, man.
Yeah, probably. I totally dig it though.
It's such a broad spectrum of things, right? It's blues, but blues is rock. That's the birth of that whole movement too. And also that wasn't the Jimi Hendrix version, that was the Deep Purple one. So that's definitely classic rock at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not serious about it because for me and for I think most of the Jimi fans, he has this mixture of all the styles. That's why I love him because it's not like, oh, he's the first rock star, he's the biggest blues dude or whatever. He's like, he mixed literally funk, blues, rock, R&B, soul, everything. And yeah, whatever. It's a whole different story.
I showed you mine.
Oh, okay.
Show me yours now.
You want guitar first?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
I mean, it's either one of two guitars, and you did have to adjust the grip. So I know it's the heavier one of the two.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically.
If you guys know me, you would probably expect me to grab my telly, which would be an obvious thing to do. And I could definitely rock that thing and would love the tones. But if I think of all the classic bands I love and always loved and sort of grew up listening to, Nazareth, Boston, Kansas, like Jimmy Page, obviously, and all those players, you know, it's gotta be the LP.
Yeah. I get it.
So I brought my Les Paul.
The flamey strap is not period correct.
I'm very sorry. That's from the 80s. 80s, 90s?
Yeah, probably.
Someone in the 90s still feels like he's in the 80s. In 2021. Good job, Kris.
No, I get it. But it's good. We're bringing different things to the table. All right, I get the guitar. What's under the cloth?
Well, it's a huge board, but I'm barely using anything.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Less talking, more boarding.
But, oh, come on. Fail. Woo! So, what I'm actually using here is...
Everything that's not usually on the board, I guess.
One pedal.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, maybe a second one too, but it's the Box of Rock, ZVEX.
Yeah, okay.
It's supposed to emulate a cranked JTM. So that was an obvious choice.
Yeah, okay.
And that was my choice because I also figured out, okay, Guillaume took the mini plexi, so I gotta use something else, which is not like the typical choice because most of these rock dudes I love listening to and I love their tones. It's a Les Paul into Marshall.
Yep.
Or maybe an SG into Marshall, but mainly it's a Les Paul. So yeah, it's Box of Rock time.
Okay. Is it really just the only pedal you're using on there? Because I see some stuff that's not usually on there either.
I brought a G7, an equalizer, just in case.
Boston,
because,
Kansas.
Just to shape the tone if necessary. Yeah. Because most of these guitar tones from like early 70s, mid 70s were really thin. Like, you don't have a lot of low end. These were huge Marshalls and similar amps cranked, and there's not a lot of low end. And it's not like a rich modern rock tone. It's more like a gnarly...
super honky kind of thing. Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that in case the box of rock, which has tons of low end, is too much, I can get rid of some of that.
That's the trick I used for every late 70s hit the tone, was to use the G7 to push the mids like in very specific places. Yeah. Because the amount of post-production was crazy. Yeah, sorry, I'm cutting you in there.
And there's Gypsy Fuzz, which is one of my favorite fuzz face type pedals. And I just have it there in case I want to go fuzzy, but...
I might play through that at some point.
Yeah, so. you wish you
Show me your tones.
Okay. Oh, and the amp. Is the Deluxe Reverb, which was not an obvious choice. Fender amps were not like the most beloved amps by these bands. Yeah. They were using them, obviously, and I'm sure you will name 50 bands which were famous for using Fender amps in the 60s and 70s and still play classic rock, but it's not your obvious choice. It would be a Marshall.
And it's a Marshall for the late 70s, and if you wanted to, because that's 65, earliest possible, like... So it would have been like a Tweed or like a Champ. Yeah. For all the earlier recordings, like a cranked Champ.
Exactly, a cranked amp. But because I don't want to kill our hearing, I went for the Deluxe, which is enough loud. It's already on 4. If you know this amp, you know that's not quiet. Loud. Yeah. But it's still sort of clean with a Les Paul, and the Box of Rock gives it this sort of exploding, close to exploding kind of cranked amp tone.
Yeah. Let's hear it. Are you done?
Yeah. First, I didn't check the dB meter, but it sounds very much in your face.
Yeah, empirically, I think it's not as loud as I was, but because it's right in my face, like that's heavy. Yeah. It sounds great, though.
It's nasty, right?
Disgusting, yeah.
It's like...
Absolutely disgusting.
And that's exactly what I missed today. That, like, today you get a good guitar tone that people love is going to be a polished, super perfect and round and no piercing, nothing, and no wobbly, nothing.
For sure.
It's like, that's awesome. And I also tend to go in that direction, side, of course. But I do appreciate a nasty guitar tone.
They were nasty. And I know I keep circling back to that, but that's really my only sort of experience of playing a lot of 60s and 70s stuff. It's on Hit the Tone. And every time, most often, I'll get a few comments saying, that's not a really enjoyable sound in isolation. So I know,
that's how it is.
It's the sound that's going to work in the mix, and most importantly, it's kind of the sound that they used because that's how they were doing it, just like cranking the absolute life out of any amp that they had. So yeah, I just dig it. Yeah, it's really cool.
And if you want to go even further, you can of course throw in a fuzz. Even though a humbucker and a fuzz face is maybe not the most typical thing you'll see, but
Jimi had humbuckers too.
He also had the V's and whatever. Sure. So and obviously, Eric Clapton. So many people did that. Yeah. But if you think of like Jimi with a Strat and a fuzz, that's your typical like late 60s kind of fuzz tone.
Marshall amp.
But I mean, come on, what a cool sound. Yeah, I mean, That was the Gypsy Fuzz into the Box of Rock, into the Deluxe. It's all the wrong piece of gear
It's
and the wrong guitar.
exactly not how it's made, but I mean, the sounds work. Realistically, that's all they had.
Yeah.
Fuzz and cranked amps, and that was it. So, you know, people get really, really specific on the fact that it had to be a Rangemaster into a Crank Laney with an SG, with a P90. Like, of course, that's the recipe, right? That works, but...
No one said you have to copy your idol.
Right?
You know,
and
it's nice to know how it worked and how he used it and what he used, but I think it's cool to take our own takes on these.
For sure, and you're still definitely
tones.
in the right ballpark for the sounds. I sound better.
You think so? Now let me turn on my EQ pedal. There you go, gnarly tone.
Yeah, it's cool.
All the mids.
Yours doesn't do that.
Yeah, but that's not a tone I would associate with the 70s or the 60s. That's, for me, that's like an awesome 80s tone. But who am I to judge?
I think they're all valid. I think there's no loser here today, especially not me. No, these are all cool sounds. There are only a few of the sounds, obviously. I could have done, you know, there's such a nice cleanup. I could have gone Pink Floyd. I could have gone anything remotely British. Like, there's so many different options. That's why it would be cool for you guys to let us know which ones we didn't include here, which ones were your favorite. 60s, 70s, classic rock, what are we talking about? What's your favorite setup, your favorite sound, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We want to know.
And also, you guys let us know which kind of genre or era you want to see in the series, and we'll try to do our best. Meet you down there in the comment section. Don't forget to let us know which sound was your favorite today.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and all of that stuff. Thank you very much in advance. Take care of yourselves. And now I'm going to play some Fuzz.